Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody pull your mics up, please, so we can be heard. Good evening, everyone. This is the Limington Planning Board for October 7th. We have one agenda item for Ray Marshall, who's coming in for a conditional use permit to build a recreational campground with tent sites. So Ray, if you want to go to the microphone and tell us what you're doing.
Do you folks have anything that I could put this up in case somebody wants to make reference to?
No, we all have a copy of it, but you need to switch that microphone around so you're talking, there you
So
go.
you can actually hear me, okay?
Yeah, is that on? Can you tap it and see? It is on.
It is on.
Yep.
I'll speak up.
Yeah, we're on. I just wanted to be sure his was on.
Okay. So the reason I'm here tonight is because basically I'm trying to proof the concept that I've been driving for about a year and a half now with Sebago Technics. And I realized through talking to Jim Seymour at Sebago Technics and Craig, the code enforcement officer, that I could come before the town now with a tent site proposal, not needing any state approvals other than the curb cut, other than on this map to the far left-hand side, of the property boundary, there would be a curb cut required here. And Jim has also explained to me, because this was originally for agricultural purposes, the one in the middle of the property that's there now and exists, this one does not, that we would have to upgrade that as well.
Okay.
So whether it's for the tent site proposal or it's for the official state-approved campsite, those two things will have to be done. Both upgrading the one that's there present now in the middle of the property and the one to the far left for egress, access and egress.
This one and this one.
So it looks to me like you have between 29 and 30 sites that you're proposing for tent sites on here, if I just counted correctly.
Yeah, I think Jim said because it's being proposed as a tent site, it's something like 28, but I want to explain something to you.
Sure.
Okay? That whether it's 28 tent sites or 25 or 30 tent sites, my ultimate goal is not to have to settle for tent sites. It's to get before the town and basically proof the concept that what I would like to do here in the town is something that the town wants to see. Because obviously I'm spending a lot of money and I'm spending a lot of time to try to accomplish this. And walking out of here in the month of October feeling like the town wants to see this move forward makes me feel very encouraged about the state permitting process that we would ultimately find out. We're submitting in October. We're submitting this month. Don't know the exact date, but somewhere around the middle of the month, ideally. And then we'll have a 90 to 120 day wait period for the state approvals. I feel like if the state was to find out that we had an approval through the town, I feel like that would look favorably on what I'm trying to accomplish here in the town of Limington. So I'm not just here for no reason. I'm here for my own,
Well, everybody's there for their own, absolutely.
Yes,
That's
well,
why you're here.
I'm clearly here trying to show the state that what they're looking at has been approved by the town, and it's something that the town would like to see happen. I think that's going to bode well for me, I'm hoping.
So what approvals do you need to get from the state? I'm a little unclear on that.
Stormwater, wastewater, wetlands,
Okay, all right.
the two curb cuts I mentioned,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that there's additional permits. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know all of them, but I just know it's a lot, and I could easily get a detailed list of those permits that we are going to be submitting to the state, and I could provide them this week, so that
Okay.
you guys would have plenty of time to
Yeah.
look at them before I come back. Hopefully,
That would probably be a good idea, just
Yeah.
from an informational point of view.
Sure, and
And-
it's something I meant to do. And
Yeah.
I believe I even told Craig I was going to do it, and I dropped it.
Well, that's okay. So any approvals that we would give would be conditional upon obviously getting the state approvals as well, so.
On the tent site, not necessarily, other than the two curb cuts. Upgrading the center driveway to the property now, and also getting an additional one to the left-hand side, so you have two separate means of egress. Other than that, if I get the approvals on the tent site by the end of this month, then I would be able to move forward on the communal bathhouse, the septic system.
Okay.
Then what I would
understand.
want to do is I would want to drag my heels and wait till spring, wait till the beginning part of 25, and hopefully hear from the state that I've got my approvals. So instead of setting up pad sites for tents, ideally I would be setting up pad sites for tiny homes. That's my ultimate goal. I love the tiny homes. I'm infatuated with them, and I think people will love them. I really do.
Any questions from the board?
Well, I got a question.
Sure.
So, tiny homes have to be set on a foundation,
Correct.
so that's a subdivision,
Yeah. Okay.
not a tent site.
Right. We're here right now. We're here through the town planning board for tent sites.
Tent sites.
Tent site approval only.
Right.
I'm not before you here right now
Right.
for tiny home subdivision approval.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I won't be, in 2 weeks from now, hopefully, if I'm invited back here to do the public hearing, I won't be mentioning anything to do with subdivision, anything to do with tiny homes. I'm only doing this full transparency for you guys because I don't want anybody to have me walk out the door and have somebody say, well, isn't he going through the state for tiny homes? I just want to be fully transparent. That's all. I don't want to confuse people that might be coming in to speak to this, but I felt it necessary to say it in front of you guys because I had been here previously too, in front of you, seeing if I could get the nod of the head, so to speak, to move forward with Sebago Technics to develop the tiny home subdivision. This is kind of like my second bite of the apple, if you will. It's a way to proof the concept and make sure that the town of Limington would like to see some sort of campsite there. Tonight will give me an indication as to whether or not they're applicable, they're amenable to tent sites. I'm hoping in 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 at the most, I'm hoping to come right back here, hopefully with my state approvals, and take out the word tent sites, put back in tiny home sites, take out the word trails, and put back in the words roads. That's my ultimate goal, and I wanted to be fully transparent about that. I didn't want to be ignoring that fact because it's a pretty significant, important fact.
Okay. But it is a major difference in the proposal.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, okay, as long as you understand that.
I do.
Okay. So tonight, all we're talking about is tent sites,
Yep.
because that's what you're presenting to us. so.
Exactly. And that's what this diagram presents.
yeah.
That's why the roads were taken out,
And the
trails were
put
put
in.
it in, and the tiny homes were taken out, and tent sites were put in.
Okay.
I know it's a cutesy little way of reconfiguring it, but with you folks not needing state permittal approval, it allows me to come in here and find out how interested the town of Limington is
Well,
in what my
As far as how interested the town of Limington is, if you are an allowed use in that particular zone,
Yep.
which you are, then, we would, go through the process to grant or deny your application. But,
Okay.
so it's not, you say if the town approves, I guess we do represent the town, but we go by what's in the ordinance, what the uses are in the particular ordinance. And,
The reason I say that is because I know that a second part of this would be a public hearing.
Right, that will be in 2 weeks from tonight.
Right, so to have people come in.
And they
either-
will only be talking about tent sites when they come in.
Correct.
And then
they-
and then if you were to come back
Yep,
in the spring or whenever,
Right.
we'd go through this whole process again.
I absolutely
And it would
understand
be
that.
a subdivision process as opposed to a tent site
Right,
process.
I would have the advantage of being able to listen to the town speak on to the
Yep.
concept that I'm attempting to
Yep.
provide to the town.
Now, butters, by the way, I didn't see a deed. Did you find a deed?
Yes.
Do we have the, yeah, I'm going to come to Grace, yeah. I know she has a question. If you could give that to Donna, please, that would be great. Thank you. Yes, Grace, before I blab on, I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks. So tent sites, in my opinion, would be a temporary type dwelling. That people come, they stay for a bit, they leave.
They'd be canvas, they'd be soft, I call them soft sites, whether it was a teepee, whether it
Okay,
was,
but it's not like a permanent
correct,
structure.
correct.
tiny homes would be for permanent dwellings?
Hard sites, yes.
Okay.
I'd be attempting to do the year-round versus the seasonal. And what differentiates that, from what I understand through dealing with Jim Seymour at Sebago Technics and both Craig through code enforcement, is the foundation aspect of it.
Okay, like, would people come in and rent these for a period of time, or would they be a long-term,
It'd be daily, or possibly even weekly.
but it wouldn't be
No,
like yearly?
no,
Okay.
not yearly or monthly, because I think
Okay.
there's some sort of law. I'm getting myself familiarized with it. After a certain amount of days, somebody can claim occupancy. I think it's 27 days or so. I mean, I'm going to get into the fine print of
Okay.
this. I don't want some turkey.
Okay, so, but you're not looking to have these be
No.
people's permanent dwellings?
No, no
Okay.
mailboxes with your name in
Okay.
it. No.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to know, because to me, that's a whole different concept than
Sure.
tents that you come in for.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will expand on what you're saying, or
Thank
what
you.
you're speaking to. Because this property, in my opinion, is a very unique property. It has the ITS snowmobile trail system that goes through the back of it. I feel like there could be a real need, desire, by offering this service to snowmobilers, to four-wheelers, because right across the street, just down the road about a block, is an extensive four-wheeler trail system. So I think there's just so many different things going on in this gorgeous state that I believe that being year-round, and I would find out really quickly, if all of a sudden you're looking at a vacancy rate, then it just doesn't make sense.
okay. Well, now I have a better concept of
Thank you.
what
No.
you're going for.
Great
so-
question.
So this would be a lot like renting cabins, is what you,
Yes.
Okay,
I'm all about cabins. I'm all about taking Maine native products. Maybe say it's an old barn that's falling down. I would get to be in the know with guys that are doing these types of projects, demo guys and stuff like that. Anything that was possible to be repurposed, and I mean anything. I'm just the biggest junk man you've ever met in your life, but I like to think of myself as turning the junk into treasure.
and it's not gonna be a junkyard.
No, it's not. It's not going to be a junkyard.
Just wanted to be sure.
I believe the next time I come in, I'm going to bring a concept of what it is that I'm really envisioning.
Okay,
I would like when people drive by, they see it, they're just like, wow, I want to stay there. I'm all about this stuff. This is all I eat, breathe, and sleep. When I'm sleeping, I'm not really even sleeping, I'm resting, because I'm picturing what I'm going to be doing with all these old things. And so that's what my passion is. It's not going to be cookie cutter, straight up and down. You walk in sheetrock walls, and no, that's I'll bring something.
So you plan to actually physically put the tents on these platforms, right?
Yes.
So people will not be bringing their own tents, they would be existing tents?
Exactly. If I ended up finding out in February or March of 2025 that I was denied by the state, I would try to be as elaborate with the soft sites. I call them soft sites because whether it's a yurt or whether it's a geodesic dome, which I'm infatuated with, I absolutely love geodesic domes. Teepees, I would want to have at least. My son got married at a place called June Farms. He just somehow knew that the venue that I would want to stay in was a teepee. And I was in love with it. It's like you're outdoors, even though you're really not outdoors. So I would get pretty creative, find out what kind of soft sites I could explore, and be as creative as I possibly could, so that people would come in and want to stay in the same types of things that I think are awesome.
Okay. Any more questions?
so every one of these sites right now meet the setbacks and everything if they were tents?
They do, Daryl. If you look, I feel like every time I want to say that's a good question, I'm being a politician, but if you look right here, this dark blue line is the 100-year floodplain.
Yeah,
I asked Jim to put that back in here, and it disappeared over time. If you look really, okay, so the first one says 100-year floodplain line, pointing to the blue line. The next one says 75 wetland setback, and it shows you like a perforated
Right,
line all along the contour of
Right.
the 100-year floodplain. So yes, that's all been delineated and that's all been marked out.
Also, in the ordinance, on page 84, under campgrounds, which is basically what this is proposed to be.
Yep.
Huh? It says that campgrounds shall contain a minimum of 5,000 square feet of land, not including roads and driveways for each site. So.
Yep.
And
Jim and I have already,
you've already
Yep.
addressed that,
Yep.
okay.
What page you on, Joyce?
84.
84, thank you.
It's 8Q.
yeah,
The
he's
number
fully aware of that
8Q?
rule, and he's
Yep, okay,
adhered to
I
it.
just wanted to be sure.
So each one of these sites reflect that.
Yes. I want to
Okay.
explain something too as kind of like a side note. Like any business venture, you're always trying to figure out how to make money. There's another side to this that has nothing to do with money. Things like gardens, things like animals. I know I'd have to go through the town here to make sure that what I'm thinking is going to be, allowed. I'm not just going to willy-nilly start setting up, pens for pigs or anything for that matter, chickens or anything. But the idea is I'd want to create something to where people wanted to be here for a lot of other reasons than just staying in these things that I'm infatuated with. Gardens, I'm huge into environment. I'm all about the environment. So, I've got a lot of different things.
You would
that-
have a difficult time with pigsties, pig pens.
Yeah, some things
If you were
aren't. You know
thinking
what's
that.
funny? When I went to June Farms, they had this pig that was probably the size of the from Pete Langevin.
Yep.
His sign to Donna, laying there, no smell. And I'm not friends, but I'm familiar with who the owner is. His name's Matt. He's a super nice guy. He's probably given me 3 tours of the place already, because I just love driving around his place. It's 128 acres, and he's got everything. And I don't know how, but when you're there, there's no. I don't like undesirable. If I think it's undesirable, I'm pretty sure other people are going to think it's undesirable. If you ever looked at June Farm on his site, it describes all the animals that he has, and it's quite impressive. So
Well, that's probably another issue for another time.
yeah, of course.
So anyway, the process for tonight, unless the board has more questions, is that we accept your application.
Okay.
And Donna has a list of your abutters. And she sends them all notice that there's going to be a public hearing on the 21st. It will be at 7 o'clock,
Okay.
which is the third Monday of the month. And then a notice would go into our local paper. It would be posted on our webpage to give as many people as possible the opportunity
Sure.
to come in. And 99% of the time on the evening of the public hearing, we take our vote unless there's something comes up that we hadn't anticipated, or the public might bring something up. But most of the time, we take a vote the night of the public hearing.
The night of the public hearing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, tonight is only accepting the application. The other question I have for the board is, do you want to do a site walk? Do you feel the need to do a site walk? I don't know what you're gonna see other than land.
You ride by there all the time.
Yeah,
I was going to say it's pretty wide open. It's
Yeah.
fully accessible. Anybody's
Yeah.
welcome to come anytime they want.
and there's no delineation on the site at this time of any of where the pads are gonna go.
No.
No, so
And
we-
all it is
we
is
just-
high grass and,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
would just be looking. So I personally don't see the need, but that's just my personal opinion. Do the rest of the board want to do a site walk or not? No? No. Okay.
Daryl does.
Well,
I'm just teasing.
no, did you want to do a site walk?
Is that
Are
okay?
you comfortable with not doing a site?
Whatever you want to do, I mean,
Yeah.
none of this property down here is being included in it anyway, right?
Right, the chick farm is not a piece of
Correct.
it, no. Okay. All right, so hearing no more questions, is there a motion to accept the site plan for campground tent sites for Mr. Marshall at what is known as the Tiedemann property, which is at 697 Secocas Avenue?
Make a motion to accept.
Darrell made a motion, is there a
And I'll
second?
second.
Grace seconded?
Darrell, you made that motion?
Yes, and Grace
Okay.
seconded. All in favor? Okay, so we will see you 2 weeks from tonight on the 21st at 7 o'clock.
Thank you
Okay,
for everybody hearing me out and having some questions for me to think about and how to maybe be able to answer them better next time.
Yeah, well,
And I'll get you that list of state
yeah,
permits.
I'd be curious about that.
You got it.
Please, that would be great.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Okay, have a good evening.
Grace, did you second that?
Yes, she
I
did.
did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, shall we do the minutes of the 23rd? I only had one comment. It's on the very last page.
Did you say comma?
Comment.
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 Yep. That second paragraph down, there was no adjourning motion. Doesn't make any sense, so I suggest moving it out.
I had a hard time with that sentence.
Yeah, so, because obviously, 2 paragraphs down from that, a motion was made, so, other than removing that paragraph, I have no
You
other
want the
comment.
whole paragraph?
Yeah, right, that doesn't make sense, why is it there? I mean, because two paragraphs lower, you have a motion was made by Bob Gervais and seconded by Pete to adjourn, so I don't know why.
They're
The
two separate
second-
things.
Yeah, it's 2 separate issues.
Yes.
Why is it 2 separate issues?
Because the adjournment didn't appear on the minutes that we were reviewing that night.
Yeah, that's true, Donna, but I think what
And
you've
then the
got
next
here,
one is to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah,
I
well,
think you need to lose the line that says there's no adjournment
Oh,
motion.
absolutely.
Everything you wrote after that.
Is okay.
And take out, add the following. So
Okay.
leave in Grace Davis and everything after that.
Okay,
And,
yeah, that's a
and
good
lose
solution.
whatever was
that-
before it, and I think that'll clarify it.
well, it doesn't refer to what she's adjourning. Oh, it falls under the title, review of minutes?
Yeah.
Right.
I gotcha, okay, now it makes sense,
It
thank
was a
you.
review of the 210.
Right, gotcha, thank you, okay.
Not
So we're gonna
210,
take
I'm
out
sorry,
that
the 99.
sentence and the word add the following, and then leave the sentence starting with Grace.
And then maybe if we put a couple spaces after that, that would show that review of minutes was those 2 paragraphs. And then afterwards, we went back to our regular meeting, or indented or something.
Okay, you
Yeah.
lost
But-
me.
But because, the next sentence, Victoria
I
made a
know.
motion to approve, sort of clarifies the sentence before.
Yes.
us, so,
Normally,
yeah.
The
We don't.
corrections? in
No,
the
we
minutes?
don't.
Or
We
do
don't
just make the
typically put
correct-
what the corrections are.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess we use
Sometimes
any
I
of that.
do.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, do you want to leave that out? Grace made the motion to adjourn?
No. I, um,
I don't remember
I,
seeing.
I just don't think it's necessary, but whatever the rest of the board wants
I don't think
is
it's
fine.
I
necessary
think
either.
it goes. We don't-
I think we should
As
just
long
take
as you
those
made
2
the changes,
paragraphs
that's,
out.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
So the first paragraph you want out,
Really
Grace made the
confusing.
motion?
That whole paragraph
Okay,
starting, there was
go
no
on.
adjourning, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It simplifies it,
Yes.
okay. Are there any other corrections?
Nope.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes as amended of September 23rd?
so moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Grace, is everybody in favor? Okay, very good. So, other than that, we don't have anything else on the agenda. I would remind everyone that there is a Board of Appeals hearing tomorrow night, excuse me, at 7 o'clock here to discuss the Mr. Gaines property for the Antique Car Museum prospect. So anyone who wants to attend, obviously, is more than welcome. Anything else?
The 4-way stop sign starts tomorrow.
Oh, it's already been, they're in?
Yes, I got them covered up with a canvas, haven't they? Nemo?
Oh, that's,
They put all the posts in, they have traffic pattern change ahead signs on and covered.
yeah,
And I don't know if they put the stop signs up today.
Are the stop signs gonna be blinking?
I've only heard rumor, I think it's those solar ones that
Yeah,
the
that'd be
signs.
nice.
That would be good, just
On
because
the
it's a change.
post.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're real high, if you look at them, they're really high
yeah.
stop signs.
Okay,
And I'm
So,
glad they're
They're
high.
gonna be painting the road too, like stop ahead and even the speed limit.
good.
so just so you know, at the library intersection of, is it 11 and 117? There will be some major traffic redesigns, so everybody be aware of that at the time, and please be cautious. Anything else? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Bob made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Grace seconded it. All in favor? Okay. Thank you, everyone. We will see you on the 21st at 7 o'clock. Good night.